tip of the ulnar styloid process, and this is the tip of the radial styloid pitches, which is supposed to be in this place. It's around 1.5 millimeters with a variance. It's called the ulnar variance. Now because of the fall, all these structures are collapsed. You can see here the styloid has broken into a couple of pieces, and the fragment, because of the scaphoid pushing inside and the lunate pushing inside, this joint line is getting depressed here, and there are a lot of comminuted pieces with collapse of this bone. And we have got a molar ulnar fragment which is near to the distal radioulnar joint line. Now this is going to cause the instability in this joint line. Now we have to restore all this. We have to restore the joint line, we have to restore the height of the radial styloid process, and we have to see to it the joint line is maintained with less than 1 millimeter of step. Otherwise patient will end up with arthritis. So with so much challenges to restore 3 fragments and joint line and the radial styloid process, and to take care of the comminution, now we have to address in such a way that all these things are not collapsing again once we fix it, once we reduce it. So once we have opened this, what we have got is the fracture line and a lot of comminution. There is a lot of comminution here in the fracture line. The biggest challenge was to restore the joint line. The joint line, you can see this joint line is nicely restored here. Now you can see that this is the K wire which is lifting these two joint lines. Now this typical procedure, when we insert one K wire and lift a joint line, this procedure is called as Kappanji technique. Now once you have lifted it and I have given the traction, you can see the radial styloid is properly getting maintained here. Now we are fixing it and holding it with a K wire, and once we have restored all this anatomy, we need to fix it in multiple planes. We cannot use a routine plate, so we require a plate which is having multi-directional screws, polydirectional screws. So we are using a locking plate with polydirectional hold. So this locking plate we are using, and we can hold this distal fragment, different pieces. Again I will tell you, the volar ulnar piece, the die punch lunate fragment, and this is a styloid die punch. So this is a scaphoid die punch, and we have got a comminuted styloid. So everything has to be held with different screws, and you can see we have been able to maintain all these things. You can see here. You can see this is the styloid height which we have maintained, and this ulnar polar fragment and the joint line is come back to the original place. Now this fragment is again collapsing, so we have temporarily held with K wires, and all this small fragment we have held with multiple locking screws. Just a minute, this go to add